is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. Going beast mode when the game begin. I worked all summer to be a champion. At Venice High School, all we do is win. Man, it feel good to be an Indian.
And welcome to this week's edition of the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'm John Masoni here with Venice Indian head football coach John Peacock. And, Coach, 2 weeks off, heading right into the playoffs against a good opponent. Ridge comes in as a playoff team. I think a district champion as well.
They were district champs, yep.
And early on in the game showed some toughness that really shone through on the film that I saw, but ended up with a 49-12 victory for the Indians.
Yeah, they were a tough football team. They're known for their weightlifting. They spend a lot of time in the weight room. So the kids were tough kids, and they played hard. And I thought that our kids came out and played extremely well on both sides of the ball. I know we did give up a touchdown on the first drive, which is a little disappointing. But you got to expect you being off for that long amount of time that you're going to have a little bit of rust. But after that first drive, they kind of settled in and didn't let them cross the 50 again until later on in the game.
It's the first series on offense, 4 plays, touchdown. You got to be happy about that efficiency.
Yeah,
going into it.
The offense was clicking. Darion Jones had a really good game. Spread the ball around. I think 3 different receivers had touchdowns. Landon Green had a big catch and run for a touchdown. Tyree had another big night. Nice to see Macho back. Macho ran the ball extremely hard.
I thought he looked good,
yeah,
really good.
I thought he looked really good. He hit the hole fast. He looked fast. He was running the ball extremely hard, breaking a lot of tackles and moving the pile. So,
and I think Darion looked comfortable in the pocket, almost too comfortable on a couple occasions. But I think that had a lot to do with Macho being back in the backfield because he's such a home run hitter on the running side of it. That at least I think when he's in the backfield with him, the throwing the ball gets a little.
I mean,
little
when you
easier.
it's like we talked about before. It's the first time that we've had everybody in the game, and for any game this year, and you can tell a little bit of confidence from everybody, and being able to run the ball the way we ran the ball, and also being able to throw the ball, and it just what we talked about at the beginning of the year. After week 1 is the goal is to get better each week, and I think if you look throughout our season, I think that we did do that. We got better each week, and I think that we made some really big jumps late in the season.
Yes.
And I think that we're still getting better as we speak. I think that we'll be better this week than we were last week.
I totally agree because the way I looked at it was I did expect a little rust, not much, but there might have been a little bit here and there. But I looked at it and saw that there was a momentum build and a confidence build as that game went forward, and not cocky confidence, but like you could see that when hitting the hole hard, not hesitant, being. Let's talk about Green. Green gets the ball. He's looking to go upfield. That was a heck of a run down the sideline, even.
Yeah.
And so you look at that and say maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe he steps out of bounds. On that one, he's thinking, I got a home run here. I'm going to do this. Lynch getting short-handed with everything. Those things are where you weren't week 5.
Right.
Now everybody has a contributing part in this whole thing. And everybody who was in there, both offense and defense, after the fact, look like they were ready to go as well.
And now this week, this will be the first week that we have the entire team healthy, because we're getting back Neely on defense. Right. So now we'll have our entire defense there, and we'll have our entire offense there, and everyone will be healthy.
No doubt about it. Like you said, Macho had a good game. Tyree had his typical good game. Darion probably had the best percentage-wise passing he had all year.
I think it threw 13 out of 16, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 different receivers.
Absolutely. And so he might have been the pop off the page statistically, but other than that, it was a total team effort. That's what I kept on seeing. It wasn't Ashari just in the backfield the whole time. It was everybody in the backfield. And I'm not even talking about the first string. I'm talking the guys who came in and gave guys breaks that were getting some pressure. And the one thing I was again really impressed with was the secondary. The secondary seems to be they seem to be really playing that. If anything about that confidence level, you really see it with that.
A lot of pass breakups. They were down the field where they needed to be in the right spots, and they had 2 interceptions.
Yep.
And Yeah, they are playing extremely well. You look at Walker Brown has now stepped up, and the coaches have confidence in him.
Yeah.
He has confidence in himself. We've always felt really good about Lane. Lane's finally fully healthy, and he's making play after play. And you had Judson, who's had a great year, who continues to play well, and of course Ashari. And then you got Hupp in the middle. I feel like Hupp is just now starting to come along and playing really well.
He had a really good stat line, and he was disruptive in that whole part. So that's what I'm saying. Wasn't just
Campbell had a good game too. You saw Campbell
2 tackles
kind
for
of
loss,
have flashes of what he looked like last year.
and you see that because you got to think that those guys are going to get opportunities. They're going to design something to try to block Ashari.
Right.
He's got to be patient with that because they are going to chip on him and do whatever. But when the other 3 guys can get there, and
right.
then is what do you do? It's a what do you do moment at that point. You got to pick your poison, and if there's nothing you can do and they're going to get in there, man, it makes it such an easier proposition for all of them. Again, 49-12 was the final score. One thing about Ridge too, didn't have a big roster, but again, a very talented but shorter roster. They played pretty well for being a little shorthanded.
They had about 30 kids, which I was kind of shocked pregame when I saw that. But again, they're coming from they're tough coach, and they played tough, and I don't think it mattered how many kids they had.
A little bit of like any game you come off of early in the playoffs. A little something you can coach up. Probably penalties again might be something you're looking at.
We
had
as well. eight penalties.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff, like it's going to happen. But you just want to make sure that it's.
You like to be around. You like to be around 5.
Yeah,
we had 8. Like to be around 5. So there's still some stuff we can clean up.
Because that's the one thing you can try to do, but in the context of a game, especially like a graze of a face mask,
right.
that kind of stuff, you are going to get somebody who jumps off sides. You never, especially with the tempo. When you go tempo, it's hard to sort of hold your hand on the ground for a certain amount of time. So, but other than that, I guess I think you have things to coach, but you have the next opponent, which would be West Orange. We'll talk about them later on. But a familiar foe, and you get a handful with them.
Yeah, they're a good football team.
We'll do right quick, and we'll take a quick break. Come back and do the highlights, and we'll do a big thank you to all of our sponsors, just like we always do for Bogies every week. You guys are hooked on those tacos.
Tacos are excellent. I went away from the fajitas. I didn't want to make anything tonight, so I went with the tacos. I think it's the second time I had the tacos, and Francis has tacos every week.
Yeah, he went from burger guy to taco guy.
They're excellent. They're excellent.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so again, come to Bogies. It's popping right now. Maction here tonight when we were doing our taping.
Yep.
The basketball season is in full swing as far as college and pro. You got hockey going out there, so being in a sports bar in an evening or any time at this time of the year is fantastic. And it's set 7 days a week, too, so there's always something going on. Thank you again, Bogies. With that, we'll take a break and come back with the highlights from Friday night's game against Ridge Community right after this.
We'd like to take a minute to acknowledge all of our sponsors that truly make this happen. State College of Florida, Chick-fil-A,
Absolute Aluminum, Jenkins, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Venice Pest Control,
Players, Ryan Brown, Damon Wilson, Trey Burton,
Ships Excavating, AstroTurf, Athletes Perspective Group, X-Tech,
Advanced Asphalt, Sarasota Ford, The Hupp Group,
Bogies of Venice,
and a special thanks to Suncoast Credit Union.
At the Hupp Group at Keller Williams Island Life Real Estate, luxury isn't about price. Luxury is about the experience that we deliver to every client. We are a full-service real estate team offering expert marketing, strategic negotiations, and 5-star communication across every transaction. Our team includes 7 licensed realtors who work together to bring results, experience, and personalized service at every price point. With dedicated in-house marketing, operations, and complementary property styling, we elevate every listing and guide each buyer with precision and care. Over 80% of our business comes from referrals and repeat clients, because at the Hupp Group, every client receives the luxury treatment, no matter the budget. The Hupp Group, strategy, results, luxury.
Hey parents, start your child's savings adventure today with Ernie's Kids Club at Suncoast Credit Union. New members who open a youth savings account get a free 2025 Zoo Tampa Pass, financial literacy activities, and entry into special giveaways. Simply become a member and make an initial deposit of $50 or more to qualify for the Zoo Tampa Pass. Invest in your child's tomorrow while unlocking roaring savings today. Visit suncoast.com/kidsclub or your nearest branch to get started.
Quality education, exceptional value, and endless possibilities. All at State College of Florida. Thinking of starting college or switching careers? Our flexible schedules and student resources will help you get to the finish line. Apply today at scf.edu/letsgo.
We're back here at Bogies with the John Peacock Coaches Show. And, Coach, we always do a segment with the last few weeks, every week, I should say, with our sponsor Spotlight. We've kind of named everybody and given them their chance, but we want to thank all of you guys. We don't want to name everybody, but we want to let them know that how much
you can see it right down the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, how much we appreciate what's being done and how this the Coaches Show is sort of been a living organic thing as it's gone forward, but it's always been an avenue to really give the kids as much as we can as far as highlights and talking about the team. And I think that the sponsors may think it's something different, but it really is. I shouldn't say they don't, but it is about the kids. It's always been about the kids. And
also, we want to encourage, people watching to go visit these establishments and use the people that are sponsoring our show and kind of give back to them because they're giving back to us.
And we like I said, we hope it's entertaining for everybody to watch, but in the same token, we do really appreciate. Irregardless of it, if you're giving us something of an avenue to again promote what the kids are doing, and
then when you do use them, just say, hey, we're using you because we saw you on the Coaches Show.
Absolutely right. Definitely do that, and like I said, it's an invaluable thing that we get to do, and we get to have a little fun with it as well. So that's always good. With that, we'll go right now to the highlights of Friday night's game against Ridge Community.
We got the ball first, and like you said, 4 plays, but I think it was actually 2 plays because there was a penalty on both of them. But you see Macho there, the first carry, it rips off 19 yards, hits the hole hard, and then you got Tyree here on a RPO, makes a good play.
Love his effort with the ball.
He's
tough.
He's a madman. Madman.
He is.
And then you see Bray here, and you see Tyree come in and get a block here at the end.
Big time.
That kind of frees him up. I think Bray had two big catches, or 2 or 3.
That's Lynch.
Or Lynch, I'm sorry. That's his nickname, Bray. That's his nickname, Bray. But, Lynch had 3 catches, did a good job.
Good job there by Judson.
Yeah, Judson's really good at that, figuring out.
Yeah, if you can't get their jump, right? Now it's going to –
You see that was Walker Brown. The defensive backs all played really well. I think they all had a batted ball down during the game, and there's Aaron. I think he had 2 or 3 tackle for losses, but he did a good job inside.
He's explosive off the ball.
Yes, he is. He does a really good job. Does some really good stuff that he's really natural at.
Good little pass rush, and that was a. I mean, I'm not saying it was a good idea, but it was an interesting play to say the least.
Mike almost had a pick, and then Kisovic almost had a pick, and you see we turn a hitch into about a 30-yard gain. I mean, he's just so explosive.
He catches everything, John. We have to give him some sort of a nickname like Dr. Sticky Fingers.
You call him Dr. Stinky Fingers?
No, Sticky Fingers.
Oh.
Ball sticks to his hand kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, his hands are unbelievable. To see Macho there again with a big, strong run, breaking tackles and getting downfield. And then Darion finishes off here, keeps it.
And that was a good read. He could have walked in backwards on that one.
But that's what happens when everything's kind of working together. Your whole offense kind of works in unison there.
Quarterback could run around a little bit.
He was
quite a bit.
Really, really athletic. You see Aaron again there with a nice tackle for loss. It's a big third down, big third down play by Walker Brown, making that tackle there for like a 2-yard gain. Like I said, he's really starting to play really good football for us. There's a nice hitch there by Landon Green. I think the next one he gets, he turns into like a 44-yard touchdown.
It was a good move for sure.
You see Ford here has a nice carry, finding some daylight there for about a 20-yard gain.
And again, his playing time with Macho out, it's showing in his confidence and how he runs the ball.
Helps.
He doesn't hesitate. He hits that hole hard.
This is a big fourth down play to Tyree. I mean, this is an unbelievable catch. He got his toe down.
That's what I'm talking about.
Athletic
sticky
as could
fingers.
be.
Those are and very good footwork as well.
I think he had two big fourth down conversions on this drive. I think this might be the next one. This is another fourth down play. Makes a nice play.
And a great throw. I mean, that's right there on
starting to have, it's, when you start as a coach, you start to have confidence in that. It makes life easier. And then especially when you complete them,
right,
it gives you even more confidence. Again, another broke up pass. DB's really played well Friday night. See Macho again.
That's a prototypical run for him.
Yeah.
Jump cut in the hole and then run over the safety out downfield.
Another run by Macho. He's a bull in the China shop. When
and he doesn't look that big sometimes, but he is a big kid at running
strong.
back.
He's strong in the weight room, tough. And here's Lynch again. I think this is a nice throw and catch by Lynch. From Darion to Lynch.
Big target. Good
Lynch has really good hands too. It's a nice touchdown run here
Macho
by
was taking it the whole way.
Yeah. Another pass break up there by, I think that was Micah. Yeah, Micah did a great job. That was a big third down play too.
And that's what the quarterback brought. He could run it, get out of the pocket. This is Green.
Does a nice job. You can see his speed here.
See right there, and then he's gone.
He takes off. Yeah, that was a nice play.
A long strider. And he gets hit by the cannon. Shari got in there. Shot out of his shotgun. He didn't get the sack, but he definitely got the QB pressure on that one.
Walker Brown and Micah was in coverage there. Both of them. Walker Brown almost had a pick there.
Another nice throw and catch. That's
Frazier almost.
Yeah, I thought he had it with a stiff arm. And then right there for a second, I thought maybe they throw him in the end zone. It just didn't quite happen, but heck of a catch and run. And this
nice
is
route. You see the route is being what he did at the top route. And,
I know. And he's double covered in that one too.
He just moves different. Like he's so smooth, and his routes and this the way he moves, man, is unbelievable. That was a great job by Shari taking on the block and causing that.
Turning him back into Hupp.
Yep. And Hupp did a great job finishing it. Again, see right there.
Lots of pressure.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's Kisevich on the interception.
Kisevich on the interception.
I thought for a second he might break it to the house, but close. This is one of the penalties you don't need to have a little bit, maybe too much of a celebration. I think it brought you back.
Yeah, that was one of our penalties, the
yeah.
celebration penalty. And then we came back and Macho punched it in here, and I think that this run right here forced the running clock, and then we got all the backups in. They got to play a little bit. You got to see the first little glimpse
and they look very good. I mean, if you watch everybody stay with it, you can see how good the seconds teams look, and that's Dale.
Yeah, Dale had a nice interception. You'll see Bigelow getting to carry the ball here first time. He was our freshman running back, and then Pangallo had some nice throws.
He did.
That's the first catch there.
That was 28.
And then Pangallo got to throw another touchdown here to Ford. And Pangalo's a good quarterback. I mean, he throws a nice ball. Oh, this is Bigelow's run. Bigelow's our freshman running back. He's very, very talented. And then here's the
run and
touchdown pass.
And good read, found him wide open down there.
Yeah, we only got the ball one more time. That was it.
That was it.
That was
Exactly.
it.
He ran 8 plays.
Yeah.
And I think 8 or 9 plays at all in the whole second half. That was
now,
it.
defense was out there forever. But total, we had the ball one series with the twos. I wish they would have got another series. And I think they scored us.
So 49-12 was the final score. As the highlights showed, very efficient night. You see Darion was composed in the pocket. Macho had his good runs. And the second string came in and did a nice job on both sides of the ball.
Yes, they did. They played hard, and they deserve to play as much as anyone else. And Pangalo stood out, as the quarterback, did a nice job, and he goes out there and runs that pretty smoothly. When you got a bunch of new pieces, we got kids from the freshman team, and he kind of keeps that all together and had that thing running pretty smoothly. When
you see a guy walk in and be as composed as he is, comfortable in his body language is comfortable.
Right.
I think that's always how you break a huddle with somebody. I don't care if you're a freshman or a senior. There's something to be said about having that guy look him in the eye and says, this is going to work.
Right.
You feel better about it. He's got that little bit of that for a backup quarterback. He's got a little bit of that it going for him. Once again, Ridge, we saw them on there. They ran around. They made plays. They played hard, but it's just, this situation for them it's a tough place to come play at Powell Davis Stadium. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, it is. And but like I said, I was impressed. Those kids played hard and they were tough, and they didn't back down.
So now we move forward to the regional semifinals at home again against West Orange, a familiar foe. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, come back, and we'll get started talking a little bit what they have to offer on Friday night when they come to Powell Davis Stadium. We'll be back here at Bogies with the John Peacock Coaches Show right after this.
We'd like to take a minute to acknowledge all of our sponsors that truly make this happen. State College of Florida, Chick-fil-A,
Absolute Aluminum, Jenkins, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Venice Pest Control,
Players, Ryan Brown, Damon Wilson, Trey Burton,
Ships Excavating, AstroTurf, Athletes Perspective Group, X-Tech,
Advanced Asphalt, Sarasota Ford, The Hupp Group,
Bogies of Venice,
and a special thanks to Suncoast Credit Union.
At the Hupp Group at Keller Williams Island Life Real Estate, luxury isn't about price. Luxury is about the experience that we deliver to every client. We are a full-service real estate team offering expert marketing, strategic negotiations, and 5-star communication across every transaction. Our team includes 7 licensed realtors who work together to bring results, experience, and personalized service at every price point. With dedicated in-house marketing, operations, and complimentary property styling, we elevate every listing and guide each buyer with precision and care. Over 80% of our business comes from referrals and repeat clients, because at the Hupp Group, every client receives the luxury treatment, no matter the budget. The Hupp Group, strategy, results, luxury.
Hey parents, start your child's savings adventure today with Ernie's Kids Club at Suncoast Credit Union. New members who open a youth savings account get a free 2025 Zoo Tampa Pass, financial literacy activities, and entry into special giveaways. Simply become a member and make an initial deposit of $50 or more to qualify for the Zoo Tampa Pass. Invest in your child's tomorrow while unlocking roaring savings today. Visit suncoast.com/kidsclub or your nearest branch to get started.
Quality education, exceptional value, and endless possibilities. All at State College of Florida. Thinking of starting college or switching careers? Our flexible schedules and student resources will help you get to the finish line. Apply today at scf.edu/letsgo.
And welcome back. Coach, West Orange comes in. We've seen them before. They are a tough, athletic football team. We've seen them before. Are they the same look?
I think this is the third time we played them. I think we played them before in the regional championship. I think we played them in the second round last year. And I want to say we played him in the regional championship one more time, but I know for sure it was
3 times I know.
In 21, we played him for the regional championship.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was the second round, and I want to say there was one more, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But this will definitely be the third or fourth, definitely the
Correct.
third. They come in, they have a really, really talented quarterback. He's a sophomore. And he spreads the ball around. He's got, I want to say there's 4 different receivers that have 30 or more catches. He gets the ball out of his hand very quickly. He's very composed, great body language, doesn't run the ball a lot. They do have a pretty solid run game. And then on defense, the defense, they have some athletic defensive ends. Number 8 is a really good player for him on defense. And number 27 is, probably one of the best defensive players I've seen this year. Again, as far as anyone, he's a little undersized linebacker, but he flies around and finds the ball and makes plays and makes tackles. And so we're going to have to do a good job of putting a hat on him and accounting for him and all the run game stuff. He plays will linebacker, so he's kind of away from the tight end. But you can tell he's a kid that watches film. He's a kid that understands the game, and he gets to the ball extremely well.
Getting the advantage of having a home game, round 2. I know it's important in these situations. Familiar foe, have them at home. Is there a I don't want to call it a comfort level, but is this how you're moving forward, where you're at? Is this where you hope to be at this point in time in the season?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, our goal is to be home for the playoffs
Right.
when we play our regular season. Is to win the district is our first goal, and then to have enough wins or quality wins to be at home throughout the playoffs. And we've done that as far as the third round goes, and I guess we'll see what happens for the fourth round when they do the new calculations, which, I think that we will have a chance of, some other teams get upset.
Everything plays out the way it plays out. You never know in any situation, because this is, I bring up about where you want to be, because this is the round where a lot of funny things happen.
A lot. And then, in our past, just Venice High School's past, like we've been knocked out of the second round, I want to say 8 or 9 times,
Yes.
and with some good football teams. And we've been knocked out of the first round with some good football teams. And, my main message is that we just can't expect to go out and roll our helmet out, and just because it says Venice on our chest, that teams are going to lay down and let you win the game. And that's just not how it works. And, we've played in the third round for 10 years in a row, and won the third round for 10 years in a row. And, so that doesn't get us any points, though.
Right.
We have to go and do it this year. And, this is this year's team, and we don't get any points because of what we've done in the past.
From 7A to rural, every team that's on there, if you look at those brackets, you go, 1 versus 8, and you think that somehow or another that 1 is the best team and 8 is the worst team.
Not always.
It's not always works that way. We know that, and it says so every team in those regional brackets and the classifications, there's a story behind every team, how they got there or whatever it may be. Now, you would expect that the number 1 seed did all the right things and they're a very good team, but it's what's underneath what you got to play that you don't know where it is.
If you just look at us,
right?
If you just look at our team, we don't have the same football team that we had.
Right.
We lost 3 games.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think if we redid it with what we have now, we're sitting at 9-1, and we are the number 1 seed.
Right.
But so you're right. You don't know what the story is for each team and kind of where they are now and where they've started from.
And it's funny because not only are we associated with Venice High School, and obviously but we're all high school fans. And so it's always interesting, win or lose or whatever happens, that you're looking and scrolling and seeing how other teams did, because it's interesting to see how it all does play out, and then you find out, that was a really good team, or there was a weather issue somewhere, or this happened, or someone was hurt. You don't know all the stories. You just see a result.
Right.
You don't know, and then but going forward and who your opponent's going to be, you don't know. A lot of people, you've scouted them, but West Orange could very well be in a scenario. The best team.
The experts are saying that this is West Orange is going to knock us off.
Right.
This is the team that's going to knock us off. That, one of the sports writers said, West Orange presents the biggest issue to Venice than any other team in 7A.
Right.
So take it for what it's worth, but there's other people that think that West Orange can win this game as well.
Somebody's seeing something, right? And so that's the point of saying about you're looking at scouting. You're talking about guys that are good players, but they're also a team that has been in the playoffs quite a bit. This is not a new situation for them. So and I always talk about culture and family, and whatever you want to frame what your team unity is all about. What happens from that is that when you're part of a team and you're a sophomore and you got seniors that are winners, and you become a winner because watch how they do it. And that's why the concern would be like a team like West Orange. They've been to Powell Davis Stadium. They've played against us. They know what we can do. We know what they can do. We know the temperament. We also know their culture. And so they're going to come here and put a good show on.
That's what I told the kids today is like this. Listen, back to what I was saying before is what we've done in the past. We don't get any points for that. It does nothing to help us. I said the only thing it does is guarantee you have a target on your chest and people are coming for you. That's the only thing that changes. The only thing that changes is they're going to get their best game. You're going to get people that are extremely fired up to play you guys because of what you've done in the past. Unfortunately, we don't get to carry any of those points with us.
Right. One thing I will say that, it's always this time of the year where you start to see where leadership on the team starts to step up as well. Because you as a coach are going to do everything possible to get that team ready. But sometimes it's the guy who's in the huddle, like we talked about earlier with Ragnallo, or even anybody like that, or the confidence of a Darian Jones throwing the ball. But there's got to be somebody that look in their eye and say, we got to do this. Let's get ourselves together. Sometimes it's body language. Sometimes it's by example. Sometimes it's with somebody talking to you about it. And this is where you start to find out where your leaders are for the team this time of the year.
It starts getting important. 4 weeks left.
Right.
Actually, 3.5 weeks left because you're already halfway through this week. And 4 games max coming towards the end of your senior year. And, we have a bunch of seniors. We normally have a bunch of seniors. We normally have about 30-plus seniors. And last year was kind of like the outlier where we didn't have a whole lot of seniors. We only had 18 seniors, but this year we do have a bunch of seniors, and so it's coming down to the end of them. And a lot of them are not going on to play football.
Right. This is the last time you do it. Yeah.
So, how important is it for them?
And how many? I mean, I always, players come back to talk to the team or are on the sidelines, but you'd almost like to have like a book of some sort where the guys that didn't play any more football after their senior year.
Right.
This is the end of it. And where they could say how they felt before and after.
Right.
So that somehow it would be relatable to some of the kids who are going on that same path. Because when it's over, it's very finite. It's like, wow. I mean, it's like somebody just dropped a garage door on you or something.
Yeah. Some of it's an identity for them. Like that's a kind of like a not as that's all they are. I'm not saying that, but like sometimes that they identify like, hey, I'm a football player. This is my football team, and all of a sudden that's taken away from you.
I always with football, especially all the preparation that goes into it. And I got a question about that as well. But it's sometimes you say the identity, but sometimes that person or that player is very football centric. Meanwhile, he's a grade A student.
Right.
Even though he's a grade A student, sometimes they attach themselves more to their football successes as opposed to their classroom successes. Just human nature will do that with them. So sometimes it's always interesting, and then when it's not there, boy, it can be a little bit of a deal. Real quick, I love going back to this part of what we talk about every year, which is conditioning. We've seen over the past couple weeks playing where some teams have come in to play us. Where conditioning's been a problem for other teams. Cramping and whatnot. Do you look now and say, and look at this is why we beat ourselves to death in the summertime, because now we're still fresh. Now we're not the guy who's trying to shake off a cramp or whatever it may be. Is this the time where you start to see the fruits of those labors coming into play?
Well, over the past 2 weeks when we had that long break, I was, fortunate enough to give them 6 days off. So 6 days off does a lot for you, not just physically, but mentally as well. And it does a lot for me.
Sure.
As well, to not be, hey, we're out of that grind, and I got to go home and do some yard work, and kind of like, you kind of forget you're in football season for a day, and then you go to practice the next day, and then you're off another day, and so very fortunate to give those guys 6 days off on that 2 week period, and I think it's done wonders. I was sitting there with Coach Hunter the other day, and we were watching, Prito come out to practice, and he's on a nice jog, and I'm like, man, that kid would not have been jogging like 8 weeks ago.
Right.
But he had a nice bounce in his step, like coming out to practice, and so those are the things that you can see. You're like, man, all right, we're doing the right thing. All right, he's coming out to practice, he's excited about practice. Now, I don't know if he's probably not real excited about practice, but it's different than what it was. It's different than what it was 6 weeks ago, and we're definitely in shape. You can see it big time with DJ Jones. Like, he is in shape now. Like, he can go all day and can run, and all these guys are like in tip top shape and game shape, and and I think they're fresh mentally, and I think they're fresh physically. You can tell we're fresh physically because all of our guys are now back. They're off. They're not hurt. Everyone's back. We finally got our whole group together. So hopefully we can continue that and kind of be smart about that. And because that's one thing as a coach sometimes you overlook is where are we at mentally right now?
Right.
We might play hard on Friday night, but really where are we at? Are we all right if this is over, or
are we
itching
that much to us?
Are we itching to play next week?
Talking about, you said about DJ Jones, is it with him being in shape and everything? I got to think that at some point in time in a game, it could have been last week, could be this week, whatever, where he's going to face a guy and he's going to get into the second or third quarter and he's going to be fresh, and in his mind he's going to say, "This is what it takes. I'm here. I'm confident. Even though that guy's good, he's worn out or he's wearing out, and I'm not." And that's got to be interesting.
Well, I always tell them, like, hey, look, when you guys are tired, when you start feeling tired, you got to imagine how they feel.
Yeah.
Like
way worse.
Yeah, when you start getting tired, when you work hard enough, and we've played long enough, and we played more consistent enough to be tired, the other team is near death.
Right.
If you're tired.
Right.
So just understand that, and then when you I always tell them, like, when you start feeling tired, like, that's when it's time to turn it up.
There's been times over the years where people have said, "Oh, the other team, they'll lay on the ground so that we can slow down Venice's tempo." I think most of the time that's not the case. I think that when they're laying on the ground sometimes, they're really that tired.
Yeah, a lot of people lay on the ground with cramps. We don't do that here. Like, if you cramp and you get off the field, figure it out on the sideline. But
you can barrel roll.
Unless you're having a full body cramp, then we'll get someone to carry you off the field. But we're not going to lay down for a cramp. I don't feel like that's an injury or something you should lay down for.
Well, that's old school, because that was a Jim Powell thing too as well. If you were breathing, you could get off the field. No doubt about it. All right, we'll take a quick break. Come back. Let's talk about how well the 941 area code has been doing in the playoffs of the first round. We've got 8 teams in our area still playing.
Yep.
So we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back here at Bogies and the John Peacock Coaches Show. Be right back.
We'd like to take a minute to acknowledge all of our sponsors that truly make this happen. State College of Florida, Chick-fil-A,
Absolute Aluminum, Jenkins, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Venice Pest Control,
Players, Ryan Brown, Damon Wilson, Trey Burton,
Ships Excavating, AstroTurf, Athletes Perspective Group, X-Tech,
Advanced Asphalt, Sarasota Ford, The Hupp Group,
Bogies of Venice,
and a special thanks to Suncoast Credit Union.
At the Hupp Group at Keller Williams Island Life Real Estate, luxury isn't about price. Luxury is about the experience that we deliver to every client. We are a full-service real estate team offering expert marketing, strategic negotiations, and 5-star communication across every transaction. Our team includes 7 licensed realtors who work together to bring results, experience, and personalized service at every price point. With dedicated in-house marketing, operations, and complimentary property styling, we elevate every listing and guide each buyer with precision and care. Over 80% of our business comes from referrals and repeat clients, because at the Hupp Group, every client receives the luxury treatment, no matter the budget. The Hupp Group: strategy, results, luxury.
Hey parents, start your child's savings adventure today with Ernie's Kids Club at Suncoast Credit Union. New members who open a youth savings account get a free 2025 Zoo Tampa Pass, financial literacy activities, and entry into special giveaways. Simply become a member and make an initial deposit of $50 or more to qualify for the Zoo Tampa Pass. Invest in your child's tomorrow while unlocking roaring savings today. Visit suncoast.com/kidsclub or your nearest branch to get started.
Quality education, exceptional value, and endless possibilities. All at State College of Florida. Thinking of starting college or switching careers? Our flexible schedules and student resources will help you get to the finish line. Apply today at scf.edu/letsgo.
And we're back here with the John Peacock Coaches Show from Bogies. Thank you, Bogies, as always. 2 teams lost. All the rest won. Leaves 8 in there. The Paris community, they had a rough time. They got running clocked in their game. And then Charlotte lost to Manatee.
Yep. So we got 8 teams in it, starting down below. Mooney at 2A. Obviously, we kind of all feel like they're going to still be in it after this week. 3A, we have Booker playing Bayshore, so one of them will be out. And
I know it's second year in, but a win in the playoffs for Bayshore.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, I can't. Yeah. It's good when you've overcome being 0-10 or almost a team that they couldn't field a team at some point in time. But to get to the playoffs for the first time and get a win, and a pretty impressive win as well, that's a momentum builder.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Sanders. That's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Guy, I feel old because I was coaching against him.
We watched him run touchdowns against Manatee.
So that's awesome for Bayshore. I mean, obviously I kind of see Booker winning this.
They won 75-0 last week against Mulberry. It was pretty much a whitewash, but they've got some athletes. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we kind of knew their region. Like they weren't really going to face anybody till the 4th round anyway. Regardless where they're at. But so. They're going to probably handle Bayshore, and Bayshore will be out. But what a great year and a great turnaround by Coach Sanders. That's awesome.
4A, we've got Port Charlotte down there, and they had a big win over Dunbar. Expected they beat them in the regular season, and they're moving forward again. Lengthy conversations about Port Charlotte, about how they've been knocking on the door, to the second and third round situation. And a lot of times we see it at all different levels. You got a coach who's been there for a while with Coach Ingman, and you got a quarterback, the junior, Flaherty, who he's got the ability.
He's got tools too. He's got those receivers. He's got some really good receivers.
Hard running back.
Yeah.
So no doubt about it.
So they got a chance to make a little run for it sure.
I think where they're at right now, it's as much mental as physical. And I'm not trying to make it, but you got to think like there's got to be some point where you say, I got to get through this. How do we get past this door? And then they're headed towards that. So we'll see how they do. 5A.
Manatee.
Manatee,
I think, is going to, like we talked about earlier.
You like them in the region.
I think they're going to win their region. I don't think their region's very tough. I think that, the number 1 seed was Riverdale. And just for example, Riverdale beat Lehigh 9-7.
Right.
And so I think Manatee rolls through their region and is playing in the state semifinals.
I think you're right. I don't doubt that. And again, battle tested.
Right.
The team that beat them, talk about go off John Bosco from California, the number 1 team out there, and they lost a 1-8 matchup. Talk about.
Well, listen,
they're all good teams. I know,
but
the league they play in.
8 matchup. The reason they were 8 is because he had to forfeit all their games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So that makes a little sense. Because
still
they were going crazy about it on
still
max
an upset
preps and everything else.
Still an upset. And then 6A, you got Palmetto. I told y'all last week, I think Palmetto is the one of the teams that we said was going to win the region. That I don't think they're going to do it, and they almost didn't do it this past week.
Tough game, but 42-41 was the final score.
But we're pulling for them.
Maybe that was one of those games that was the
wake-up call, maybe. Yeah.
Wake-up call, and we'll see what happens because they definitely scored points, but you got to know that you got to play a little. The defense wins games this time of the year. There's no doubt about that. And then 7A, Riverview still in there with their win. Who they play again? Was it Winter Haven?
They played the runner-up of
no, but who they beat?
Champ. Winter Haven. Yeah. So Winter Haven was the runner-up of our matchup.
Right.
Which was kind of weird because they're seated
flip-flop.
Yeah, they were still seated. Winter Haven was seated higher than Ridge Community, and Ridge Community won the district. But it is what it is. Too bad Ridge Community didn't get a home game and win the district.
But it's just because they're seated so low.
They should have switched it. They should have switched it and made us
teams
play Winter Haven, and they made Riverview go to Ridge Community.
Right.
But it is what it is.
And then Sumner beat Ocoee.
So I think Riverview rolls this week. They got Sumner. They got a really good defense. I shouldn't say they do have a good defense, and they do a lot of exotic stuff on defense, and that's going to make you look bad at times. But they lost their starting quarterback in the Lakeland game. I don't think that they have enough firepower on offense to hang with them 4 quarters. I think it might be close for a quarter and a half, and then I think Riverview's big offensive line leans on them and comes out with the victory.
And then of course Venice plays on Friday night, West Orange,
and all the experts say that
West
Venice will be helmets on the right, shoulder pads on the left.
There's the one seed going down, so we'll see how that'll. Again, it all has to be played out on the field. How much does experience come into play this time of the year, both from a coaching perspective and a player perspective? Because you got some teams that are playing now that they're going to go into territories in our area that haven't been in a long time or maybe ever.
I think as far as the coaching side, I think it definitely helps. Because like I always say, like if we could rewind this thing and go back to 2007, 2008, 2009, I don't think our playoff run would have been the same if I was coaching that team now than when I was coaching it then. I think that we would have made some runs early, but there's a lot of things that I've learned, through that 10 years. A lot of things that, a lot of people that I sat down and talked with that had been through it and been successful. Coach Meckley and Coach Canan spent a lot of time picking, Coach Canan's brain about, playoffs and the difference of playoffs and the regular season, because we were a team that was like, we would roll through the regular season, and then we got in the playoffs and we'd stumble all the time when we faced a really good football team. And so he gave me some really good ideas and kind of told me how he handled playoffs. And Coach Meckley the same way. I mean, he's won multiple championships, and I got to meet with him and kind of pick his brain. And obviously I'm not doing exactly what they do, but I get a little pieces here, little nuggets.
But sometimes it's just one thing that maybe they wouldn't even think that meant that much to you, but it really did. It really did ring true to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Coach Canandum come down and evaluate me at a practice, evaluate our practice.
One of the most interesting nights in a playoff game. I want to say it was the St. Thomas game. I'm pretty sure it was. And getting my spot on in the press box, and I looked down, and he was front central right there in front of me, rooting on Venice. It was really it was cool because I think that's one thing. We
have a little family history there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But overall, though, like I said, talk to Coach Meckley and other time. There's always it's a fraternity of some kind, and there's a lot of little fun jabbing and jawing and everything
now listen
else.
Now when he was coaching and I was coaching, we got into it all the time. Like he used to tick me off. Like he used to really, really tick me off.
But you know who ticks you off? The guy who's can beat you. You know what I mean?
Well, at the time he wasn't beating me, and he would just tick me off every year about this film exchange and anything possible. Like would just make me so mad. And I look back at it now, I'm like, man, I probably do that to people. You know what I mean? They probably get so mad at me, like, and And I used to think, like, he probably could have cared less
Right.
what I thought or what was going on. And I'm over here steaming hot, and he's probably just watching film and preparing for the game. You know what I mean? So I always think about
No
that
doubt.
in some sorts, you know.
But I think after a while, there's that level of respect for what you have to do. I mean, it's a lot. The job's a lot, and it can be, you know, you have to be, you're talking about 14 to 18-year-old boys, you know,
Right.
and what's going on in their lives and grades and you name it, all different stuff like that, and then trying to put a football team together that's going to win a championship.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said about it. I think as you go through it, I think that as each year goes by, that's people see the respect factor, because it grows and grows and grows.
Right.
Because there's a lot to be said about the experience of doing all that stuff, good and bad. It all comes into play. It's all lessons learned. But anyway, hoping that everybody local can keep moving up the chain. And
Yeah,
get
that'd
to
be
the
awesome.
Regional finals. It does make for. I mean, I know you got to figure, like, right now, like the guys at ABC7, like Xavier McKnight and Vinny Portell at the Tribune.
It's like a regular season.
They're
It's like
spread
regular
everywhere.
Season, yeah.
What's the big game this week? You know what?
I mean, Thanksgiving weekend, I think if the people win and are supposed to win, you're going to have 5 games in our local area that are playing for a regional championship. That's awesome.
That's
awesome for our just our our area. That's really cool.
Yeah, and like I said, and it's not even like a keep your fingers crossed thing. It's probable that will happen, and that's what part of I look at it and say that. So this is where you really look around and you say how these coaches and these teams are sort of learning. Do you ever think to yourself? I mean, this is not like that when you see Venice win a state championship in 2017, that now everybody else looks around and says they're right down the block. You know, we can do this too.
Right.
Is there that kind of belief situation?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Manatee did it for years, and
right.
Southeast did it for years, and
But we're talking like, well, so I'm giving you maybe in the last 8 years or so, because there's been some turnover some places and whatnot. But to see it happen right in front of you, it's got to be more tangible, I would think. You know what I mean?
well, it hasn't happened yet.
right.
So-
No, I'm saying if we're looking backwards at certain things how Venice has won.
You think it was more tangible for us or
For them to
for
see
them
it.
to
Yes.
see it? Well, I don't know. I think it gives you a gauge. I think it gives you a gauge of. It gave me a gauge when Manatee was winning it.
Didn't you go watch on occasion?
I always went to watch.
Right. Because that's
Yeah.
what coaches do. They go, hey, I'm going to go see what's going on
I always went to watch because I always want to make myself feel bad.
to motivate you for next year.
Yeah, or I just was a glutton for pain. I mean, seriously, like, and I want to say 09, Trey's senior year, we were 9-1. We lost on ESPN to Oscar Smith, who was number 3 team in the country,
Number
who
one
was like,
quarterback in the country.
who was at the time was like 98-3 in their last 101 games. And the number 1 quarterback in the country, and we went down there and we lost by 2 scores. Questionable that if we scored before half.
We did.
Questionable, a lot of questionable calls while we're there, but should be. We're playing in Virginia, so it is what it is. And then we ended up playing St. Pete in the first round, and they knocked us off. St. Pete knocked us off, and they were a good football team, not a great team. They were a good football team that ran a wing T offense that kind of was different. And it was 14-0 before you could get your headset set up, and we almost made it come back, and we just kind of fell short on that. And then, Manatee had them the following week. We were a 1 seed, and they were a district runner-up,
Right.
Which was a weird deal because they were 9-1 and they lost 1 game. Another team that was a district champ was not as good as the football team.
They had the tiebreaker, I'm sure.
And then Manatee's ends up playing St. Pete the next week and had a tough time with them, but ended up winning the game. And then they ended up playing for a state championship. Now, Manatee's from our district.
And we beat them.
We beat them by 3 scores.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like, man, I realized how close we were.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't realize how close we were because really looking at it, I was like, yeah, I know we slipped up against St. Pete, but every other team they played, we'd have ran right through them just like they did.
Right.
And they end up playing for a state championship and losing it on a 4th and inches where the quarterback sneak and didn't get it against Plant. And, I just kind of felt like we were a better football team than their team, obviously, but they're the ones that got it done and got there.
Right.
And I count that a lot to they had a coach that had been doing it a long time and at a high level and been there and done that, and Venice didn't.
Right.
At the time.
Right. And like I said, that's the same. That's the experience.
Right.
That you get, and that moves you forward because you remember that.
Right.
You remember those situations, and that's something that you probably are either trying to coach your way out of early on.
Right.
And then once you figure out how you get the secret sauce, so to speak, then you're good to go from there. Or you're hopefully you're moving forward in those situations.
Yeah. I mean, we've lost 42 football games.
Yes.
And I could probably look back and say 20 of them probably wouldn't happen if I had a little bit more experience and did a better job.
Right. So, quick question for you. Well, last question. I'll ask, and we'll go to a break. Are you the guy who enjoys winning, or as your motivation, or hates losing? Like, which one motivates you more, the hate of the loss or the joy of the win?
Well, I don't really enjoy winning.
I'm
not sure when I enjoy it.
Until it's over.
I don't know. I was like, is that fun? Did I enjoy that really? And even last year, like when the state champions, like, this is it. Like this is it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what are we gonna do next year? Like,
does it
we're
sometimes
losing all these kids.
Does it sometimes take for you to look at everybody else enjoying themselves for you to kick in for you?
I don't know. Maybe when I retire, I'll enjoy it. But no, I absolutely fear losing. Like fear it. Not that I dislike it. I fear it. I absolutely fear it.
But I think that is there's more successful people in sports that are motivated by that side of it than the other side. Your motivations are a lot like other coaches and other athletes. I've heard the same thing.
I don't. You say, of course, I dislike losing, but it's more of a really, really strong fear of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like not even like when you lose. I guess when it all happens and you do lose one, you want to kind of move ahead and get that next opportunity. But the whole thing that I think for me is like right now I'm in like fear mode
right.
of.
But I would say this though. But I think watching you, I think once the game starts, I think that you're in that moment. You're not fearful.
Oh no.
I think in the game it's more like I'm ready to. Now we're here.
Yeah.
Now I have some control over it.
Yeah. No. You gotta, as a coach, you want to have your players emulate you on the sideline, and I try to be the same.
Right.
The same way, win or lose, and up or down, try to be the same way.
Yeah, I've been against it, but it's getting there is like I said, it's a tussle at some point. We'll take a break real quick, come back and talk about the whatchamacallit, the FSA. Oh, we're done. We're done. I didn't know that. I'm sorry about that. We were talking for a long time. Okay, everybody, real quick. Powell Davis Stadium, 7:30. West Orange comes to town. If you can't make it, NFHS Network. You'll see the broadcast, the same great broadcast you get with VSN. As always, I will be there this week. I wasn't there last week. Everybody was wondering about me.
You were at the SIP.
I was at the SIP watching Mississippi beat up on Florida. A real cool place if you ever get a chance to go there. So, Coach, good luck for this week. Hope everything works out great for you. Hope you're not feeling that angst, whatever that may be. And for you guys, thank you for watching John Peacock Coach's show. As always, we'll see you here next week from Bogies.
What time is it? Game time. 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 Going beast mode when the game begin. I worked all summer to be a champion. At Venice High School, all we do is win. Man, it feel good to be an Indian.